Yeah, that is correct. I'm getting nervous even more. Previous, yes. Compare please, yes. Hi guys, here is me the Quotex platform and the binary options. We're gonna trade today together, or you're just gonna be watching me trading, watching me, I don't know, struggling, winning, complaining, or anything like that. We're gonna test the different strategies with the different time frames and see how it's actually working or not. Let's start it out. 1 minute right here, 700 right there. This is the chart. We need to switch to the right period for the candles. 10 seconds right here, just for a change. And that's gonna be the first one. Just gonna make it a little bit bigger, quite ugly right here. And parabolics are volume, no, let's, yep, let's make it right here. With the volume, we're just gonna leave it like that. I don't remember if I've been using that actually or not before. But this is also the candles indicator, as you may see, but I must say it's a little bit different from MACD candles or awesome oscillator candles, because you may see it is, I'm gonna just zoom out and we can check it. So currency pairs with the biggest payouts, it is just repeating all the candles that we are having in the chart. And I wouldn't say that's repeating perfectly, it's not about that, but it's just repeating the period. I don't know how to explain it correctly, if I'm being honest, but I think when we're gonna be trading, we're gonna be we're just gonna be seeing how actually we can use that, because if I'm being honest, out of the bats, it's quite difficult to say, because this is not only how it is combined, but how can we use that in different type of situations of getting upward or getting downward, or just combine that with the different indicators. And actually stochastic oscillator right here as, you know, for some purpose, because we need some indicator we need to trust. That's important in this new types strategies. Look at that, I'm gonna make my bet because I've been actually studying that, and sometimes even if I made my decision, it's gonna be like upward like this time, but while I've been actually talking, I can miss the moment. And look at the stochastic oscillator first, like here, even the parabolic star actually giving us that info. And stochastic oscillator quite clearly and purely, but they're trying to close, the lines of it, and that's a tiny risk. But actually, I must say, look at that. And look how actually these candles are changing and switching at the volume oscillator. So if you are detecting now the orange candle, it doesn't mean it's going to be the orange in the end. It could actually switch as it turned right here to be. Now I just wanna cut the tendency. I just wanna cut some easy explanation for you how you can read that indicator. I need more time because I can actually, in the positions where I do not trust it, I just ignore it. But I do choose some situations where I actually can trust it, and that's it. Just compare. Just look at the chart and then look at that indicator. Look how actually at some moments where there's actually some doubts from the candles, we do detect that on that indicator. Let's check it more and more and more. I think it's not going to be the first and the last video, first maybe, but not the last video with that indicator, because I need you to look at that closely. And what about this one? If you're going to be checking, all of the candles try to be orange, firstly with the volume oscillator. And I'm just going to be now concerned only about that indicator. I'm going to avoid all that explanation actually about all these bets. I know myself when I'm just being too focused on something, I'm going to be losing lots of the things that actually I've been reading before. What I must tell you here, we just made our bet for the upward movement just because stochastic oscillator lines were actually the crossing, and in this high volatility, in this flat situation, I told you before, sometimes it doesn't matter actually downward on the upward, you just need to enter at the right position and that's it. Where I just started to enter that, I didn't expect it's gonna be any more downward, so I do think that was actually, yeah, that is correct, but that's a difficult situation. Plus, look at this previous tendency. We've been rising, then we've been falling, so that's the period actually of rising, and that what also gave me that exact and specific assumption. Let's start that from the beginning. I started to be nervous too much, so I'm gonna leave it like that. I just had my coffee before. Maybe that was too much for today because I started to be super nervous. Look at that. Firstly, last tendency on the chart, we're getting upward, and now so we just switch in, and I do expect we're gonna get downward. And stochastic oscillator just confirmed that. The parabolic SAR just in some moment also confirmed that we gotta get downward. But look at all this volume oscillator. So what I wanted to see from that indicator, if I'm getting that purely and that clearly downward with all these candles on the chart, I don't want to see these green candles in your own chart. And you may check it right here. Look at this green candle that we are having at the volume oscillator. It actually just at the right spot where there was the tiny orange candle. That means there was just the tendency to get like that with the candles. And this is just, of course, when it's green, but even when it's orange, we have it green, when there was actually some play and just getting like that. And this is why we have sometimes more green candles than we actually have it on the chart also. Or we have it less because there was also, we've been rising but getting just like that. I don't know how to explain that correctly in the words. That's complicated. I'm getting nervous even more. Let's go. We are rising, and parabolic SAR, the whole chart. And what about the stochastic oscillator? We are at the highest part of the chart. That's the risk of it. And the lines are so flat, but the tendency is still to get upward. I do think maybe we could find some space, and we are a little bit far from that breaking and get back. And look at this volume oscillator again and again. At the moment where the green candles on the chart are tiny, that means, I hope you know that they're what they're playing. So we've been actually rising, then actually getting downward with the candles, and then candle just decided to get green again. We detect right here the orange candles on the awesome oscillator. So that actually means that wasn't the pure tendency. And if I'm being honest, like completely honest with you guys, I still don't know how to use that indicator in solo and perfectly and trust that and make some conclusions out of it. Because I'm learning too. I mean, with some indicators, I'm just trying to handle that inside of the trading. So that's why I just put, if I'm going to add here MACD, together with the stochastic oscillator, I'm not going to be reading that volume oscillator just at all. So you need one trustable indicator, one with the doubt, and one is a parabolic SAR for the biggest tendencies, for example. Because if there are going to be two 100% indicators like stochastic oscillator or MACD or the awesome oscillator, you're not going to learn, you're going to just ignore the hell of the indicator. First time, I gotta tell you that it's, thanks God, that this is actually the latest bet. Just because, I don't know, I'm getting crazy. Probabilities are showing us we gotta get upward. Stochastic oscillator giving us the hint, guys, we gotta get up. I hope so. What about the volume oscillator? I mean, what I gotta tell you, just the candles, just switching, changing colors. But we do expect it's going to be some pattern. So we got it, the previous one was getting downward, then getting upward, then getting tiny downward, and now we're going to be the plateau, or we're going to get, I think, upward, just because this is the downward. Even that plateau, even that flat this is to get downward too, because comparing the previous, yes, compare please, yes, compared to this previous level of being at the peak, we are actually downward with that flat stuff. Oh, we just done. Thanks God. This is the video I gonna be regretting of. I want to just complain, and this is just the end. You know, after such videos, you have no energy, no desire to work at all, to make different videos, because you are just devastated, you are killed. And actually, on this type of videos, on this type of problems and indicators, I actually can remember how it is to be a beginner, how it is when you just want to commit suicide, when you want to kill yourself. Like, what is this going on? Why am I not having that as a profit? I have it as a profit just because I am actually a little bit like getting blind, you know. I use guessing, I use praying, I use just like all my experience, and sometimes just sitting like that, please, please, please don't ruin all that I've been actually just started to make here. But this type of indicator, I don't know, maybe I need to read more theory, because, you know, I'm a little bit ignoring that, because sometimes all these heavy explanations giving me too much nerves. I'm started to remember how does it work in all these, you know, words, I don't know, numbers, and I start to ignore what actually going on the chart, and that is more and more important. So guys, we're just done for today. I could actually complain on that situation even more and even longer, but I'm just gonna stop this, pause it, and get back home.